Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is CoinsKid, and we're just going to dive into Bitcoin. Once again, thank you for support. Big up the CoinsKid crew. So right now, Bitcoin is just falling under the 55 on the daily. If it continues to do that and starts to hit its head, this is where you're going to see it roll, and you're going to see it continue to hit its head, and it's going to get forced between this level of support here, look, which is this trend line of its large head and shoulders, which equally is support of this trend line. Do you understand that? You know, this is this large head and shoulders that I gave you on the daily time frame way back here. Look, got your head, your left shoulder, sorry, you got your head, and your right shoulder, you lost support, boom, get that whopping, I think it was about 40% correction on Bitcoin, and so far you've come up, you've broken above that level of resistance, okay, you've broken above it, you're back to support, got overextended, another back to support. So you can see that if you do start to do something like that, potentially you could be creating another little pattern as you did here. Do you understand that? And again, you know, I gave you this target here because you lost support. Look at that, boom, target met to a T. Do you understand that? So if you do start to create this pattern here for Bitcoin where you come down to this trend line like that, okay, and you do something like this and then bounce and create a lower high, and you do something like that, then if you start to lose this trend line, you've got a correction here for Bitcoin. I'll show you. So from there to there, just like you did on the previous one, it's where you could see yourself come back all the way down here to this 32, 33k. Okay, so that could offer a massive short moving forward, but with that you would be losing key levels of support right there for Bitcoin. Okay, it would look really bearish, and potentially it's just a precursor to entering the bear. So you could be looking at a whopping short up just here if it fails to pick up here and break this high. Do you understand that? So it's basically what happened before could be happening again. Do you understand that? So yeah, you're creating some kind of head and shoulders pattern as you did here. Look, you got this left shoulder, this head, this right shoulder, lost support, boom, whopping short. Look, you've got a left shoulder, a head, potentially if you sort of rally, make a lower high and lose this key level support, you've got a whopping short. I think, you know, wherever it loses support on this trend line as it did here, you could be looking at a whopping short of around about 20% for Bitcoin. But it wouldn't necessarily spell a bear market. It would look negative and it would be quite bad, but it would not necessarily spell a bear market until you lost this key level support, this trend line, because like I said to you, you've broken this trend line, and potentially you do always see a retest of support once you broke a level of resistance, and you've broken this level of resistance, which is this falling wedge which you're in. Do you see that? You've broken out, you have technical targets to the upside, roll back to a key level support for continuation, breakout to the upside. That is a possibility here for Bitcoin. Okay, if it's even if it does lose this support, I mean, it could just pick up here, consolidate sideways like this, go sideways, and then break up out of it. Who knows? No one's got a crystal ball, and it could be very similar to the previous September correction we had. So like I said to you, everything is all about support and resistance. At the minute you're relatively bullish because you've broken out of key levels of resistance. Okay, you've broken out of this level of resistance, you've broken out of this level of resistance, you've broken out of this level of resistance, and right now you're falling back to it as support. So if you can continue to hold this as support, it's where you see continuation. You understand that? But if you do start to lose these key levels of support, this is where you roll over and test previous levels of support. And again, if you do start to lose this trend line just here, that, my friend, like I said to you, full transparency, if you start to lose that for me is you're going lower than this, because you're falling back into a falling wedge and potentially coming down to test a lower low down here and create a lower low, and effectively you're rolling over, look, creating lower highs, lower lows. Do you understand that? You know, until you find a bottom down here and you break out to the upside and you have sort of relief rallies, but you're entering the bear market right there for Bitcoin. Do you understand that? So yeah, I mean, providing it can continue to hold support, which it is doing relatively well, you're having a correction which is normal, okay, because this is what we anticipate. I've just shown you the wave 1 high, you're looking at wave 2 right now, and within wave 2 you do have ABC correction. So you've got A, potential B high, which we're anticipating relatively soon, a little relief rally, and then a retest of whatever, come back down to this line, create your ABC, hold this line. It's all about holding this level of support right now, okay? Because like here, you create this big head and shoulders, you lost it, you had a whopping correction. Again, you know, it is pretty similar, to be honest with you. Look, because you rolled over here and you had this correction and you hugged this line like that, and then you rolled. Look, you rolled over here, you're hugging this line, and then potentially you could roll. So you've got your support targets. Again, you need to come to your charts and draw your lines, okay? So that's basically Bitcoin. But on the DXY, what I'm looking for, and honestly I could kick myself, because you know I was calling for this correction, okay, but I was a week too early. I was just trying to pinpoint it to the 1st of September, but there was one key indicator that I missed for you, and I'm so sorry, honestly I'm sorry, you shoot me, because there's an inverse correlation between DXY, because I said to you on the DXY there's a rising wedge and it's coming back down to a technical target. Okay, now I'm going to show you something that's really bullish for Bitcoin in a minute. Okay, so look, rising wedge for the DXY, which I told you on the daily time frame, you lost support, and I said to you got a technical target to come back down to where you formed the wedge. Well, when it came back down and bounced, met that target, that is where that bounced and Bitcoin and crypto shit the bed. So that was the catalyst for the correction. Do you understand that? So what I'm looking for now for a catalyst of continuation for Bitcoin is a bearish pattern here for the DXY. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So right now I see one, I do see one for the DXY, and it's exactly the same as last September, which is playing out. So I know I'm giving you a bearish scenario on Bitcoin, but all I'd ever do is show you key levels of support and resistance. Lose support, you go short. Break resistance, you go long. It really is simple. Okay, so yeah, right here, look, you've got a left shoulder potentially formed a head, and right now if you come up and you make a lower high on the DXY and start to roll and lose this trend line, you've got a head and shoulders pattern. And this, my friend, is potentially when this loses a key level support along here, if it does happen, again it's all big ifs, isn't it? If this does roll over, this is where you're going to see Bitcoin absolutely break up, okay, and not lose that key level support, which I've shown you. When this does this, Bitcoin will bounce and continue with the trend and the bull market, which I do anticipate. So Bitcoin looks relatively negative at the moment, but on-chain analytics and fundamentals are absolutely geared up for another run, and believe it or not, some of the technicals. But obviously you got to look at the flip side of both, haven't you? And this is what I do in the space. So look, this is right now, okay, this is September. You come into September, you rolled over in the DXY, you bounced off a key level support, which was the support of this rising wedge. When you fell out of it, boom, that was the rally in the DXY, and that's where Bitcoin's gone down. Okay, so I want to show you something, because this is a head and shoulders, this is a negative pattern. If it puts in a lower high than this, it's all about the lower high here. If it starts to do something like this, rolls over towards the end of September here, you know, and loses its key level support, you've got this massive head and shoulders pattern, and you've got a breakdown in the DXY, and you've got a bounce in Bitcoin and crypto. Okay, just here last September, look, let me show you again, created a brand new head and shoulders. Look at this. So just here for Bitcoin, you've got this head and shoulders pattern. Look at this, and it played out to a T. So again, you know, you've got a left shoulder just here like that, you create this big head, and what happened, you created a right shoulder. When you lost it, boom, you continue. Look, the DXY fell down. Obviously you don't need to put the technical target in there to see that it actually got met. You can see once it lost this key level support, boom, it rolled over, because it failed to put a higher high in there. Do you understand that? So you got your lower high, a higher high, a lower high, and you rolled. Basically you lost the key level support, continued in the downtrend, because this is what the DXY is in the downtrend. Do you understand that? This is consolidation before continuation of the trend, basically. And with that, this is where you got that monster third wave leaving into the new year there for Bitcoin, making and breaking them new highs, but it got overextended. Do you understand that? It's had a correction, and right now is the DXY printing a very similar fractal to what it did last year. You've got your left shoulder, your head, potential right shoulder, continue with the trend, lose support, this goes short, Bitcoin rallies and crypto rallies. Okay, so do keep that in mind. You know what I'm looking for, and I could kick myself because I was looking for a catalyst for the correction in Bitcoin. I was looking for it, and I was ignoring what I'd drawn in front of me, and I could kick myself, honestly. You know, DXY here, as anticipated, was in a rising wedge. I kept coming back to this chart, and I said to you, look, you've broken out here, this is good for Bitcoin. And what happened to Bitcoin at that point? Bitcoin rallied. Okay, it was pushing up towards 52k, and I was looking for a catalyst for a correction, and this was the catalyst. The bounce off the support there, the technical target, the rising wedge came up, boom, rallied, Bitcoin corrected and shit the bed. Okay, so we're looking for a correction in a DXY, a rollover, a lower high, come down, lose the support, continuation, Bitcoin crypto bullish. Do you understand that? It really is that simple. So yeah, that's a little bit of inverse correlation, and I will try and keep you updated, and I will always show you the key levels of support that you do need to hold, you know, for Bitcoin. If you do start to lose those key levels of support, this is where, and equally as well, there's another thing that I want to show you in the Bitcoin dominance, because again, equally, what's the catalyst for Bitcoin to absolutely march on and melt faces? Well, again, Bitcoin's in a rising wedge. Look, boom, 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 and I said to you, you're going to lose support there. You're going to come down to this green trend line, the technical target of the rising wedge, and right now Bitcoin is there. Okay, it is there. So is Bitcoin going to start and pick up some of the slack here in the crypto market? Is it going to put in that B high? Is it going to start to claim some sats back against alts? Alts are going to get absolutely murdered against Bitcoin. You know, again, nothing I say is financial advice. It's all theory based, but you could see some kind of relief here for Bitcoin. The DXY roll over, lose a key level support, and Bitcoin carries on. Okay, so yeah, it's all about support and resistance. Okay, so I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Bitcoin, it looks bad. It does look bad, and if you lose a key level support, you could be putting in a massive monster head and shoulders pattern. You could be coming down to 38k, and with a continuation, you could be coming down to this green trend line to test it as support. Nothing is off the table. Okay, so I'll show you everything. So that's Bitcoin. Hope you enjoyed that update. Sorry, a bit delayed today. I'm all over the place. I'll be back tomorrow with another update on Bitcoin. Hope you understand the update. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.